Hello and welcome to the 50-cent tour of Thursday, September 26th, 2013. Please find a seat on the Liberty Bus and we will begin our tour. Today I want to have kind of a mix of good news, philosophical background for the Liberty Movement, and just some ideas, few ideas of how to participate. First of all, the John Birch Society. Now that may set off alarms in some people's heads. Maybe you've heard very negative things about them. Have you ever heard of a smear campaign? That is quite likely what has been done to the John Birch Society, because the people that I've met from there, the projects that I've seen them work on, they all seem pretty good to me. Use your own judgment. Their credo is less government, more responsibility, and with God's help, a better world. Who can argue with that? Nothing about that raises any flags for me, but if it raises flags for you, cool. I'm not forcing it on you. However, if you want to very easily and quickly make comments to your senators today about Obamacare and about John Kerry's signing of the UN Small Arms Treaty, this is a very easy way to do it. It takes you maybe 2 minutes, and you can spend more time if you want, write more personal comments, but if you're looking for a way to do that, you haven't done it yet, here you go. I noticed this article in Philosopher's Stone yesterday, but I kind of passed over it. This could feed the entire planet 3 times over, and that's not all. And this is a philosophical approach. It just also some personal responsibility, what we can do. Here's where the 3 times over feeding the world comes from. If we look at our food waste alone, we see very quickly that with what we throw into landfills, we could easily feed the entire world 3 times over. And in many respects, that is true. And I have some friends who know about some containers that can hold food for, I think, 6 weeks completely without any kind of decay or loss of nutrition. There are ways to get the supply where the need is, where the demand is, and it just hasn't served the financial interests of the people at the top of the food chain to do so until now. Hopefully that is one of the things that is changing and will change very rapidly, very soon. The Activist Post has this article, "We chose democracy and human rights over banks." That's a quote from the Iceland President, and he was on a news program on RT, and it's about a half hour. If you're interested, it would be time well spent. And here is an article, very encouraging, 2012, The Big Picture. Victory, Senate to kill Monsanto Protection Act amid outrage. That is great news. And, you know, there is a little bit of momentum between the American people and Congress now. The American people have been expressing their points of view to Congress, and Congress has been hearing to some extent, just based probably on the sheer numbers of people, especially the people who cried out and asked them not to allow war in Syria that involves the U.S. So we tend to feel frustrated and as if our opinion doesn't matter. Evidently that is shifting. Your opinion does matter, so let me know what it is. I mean, especially use the John Birch website and express your opinions to Congress and your senators. Here from Ascension with Mother Earth and Current State of Affairs. You are a powerful creator. Tips on using quantum physics to create your reality. law of attraction is in parentheses. Now, if you may not totally agree with the law of attraction, but, and this is, more of a metaphysical approach to what Christians might call something like a faith confession, or, to be really kitschy, an attitude of gratitude. We definitely do attract to us more of whatever we are generating. That's just the way it is. If you're walking down the street and you smile at people, they're going to be, warming up. Maybe not to you, but maybe to the next person they meet. If you scowl at people or look away, you're fearful, that is going to reproduce in the people who you encounter. And this is follow-up to that, and more on the physical side, an explanation. The amazing ways your thoughts create your brain. And the specific thought pattern that's mentioned here is stress. When a situation you perceive as stressful occurs, it increases your level of the stress hormone cortisol. Prolonged exposure to cortisol literally excites some of your brain cells to death, particularly in the hippocampus where memories are stored. This alarmingly can cause measurable shrinkage in this part of the brain. Conversely, stress feeds the amygdala, your fear center, causing it to grow, leaving you more fearful and anxious. Thought patterns determine the direction of your life. And in helping with those ideas, if you're a Christian, you've heard this phrase and you're aware of this approach, pulling down strongholds. And this is about thought patterns and habits that we have courted in our lives, things that we have become known for, really. And this is a great article by Lou Rockwell, and he even gets into, he has a list here, anti-biblical Christian traditions in word, anti-biblical Christian traditions in deed. And because a stronghold, if you read that verse in 2 Corinthians, I think it's 12, about pulling down strongholds, you will become aware that it does definitely refer to thought patterns and belief systems. And a friend told me once that a stronghold is where you run when you are afraid or feel insecure. You're looking for shelter. It's sad that we have constructed these strongholds in our minds. We do take shelter in them. They are places that feel like a refuge just because they're familiar. But if we can break some of these thought patterns, we will begin to live the life that God intended for us to live, and we'll be free from some of the things that ensnare us. Here is an exciting free energy update from 2012, the big picture. And evidently the group that is working on this free energy is OPPT. I have been somewhat skeptical of them and their work in the past, but hey, if they can pull off making free energy, which we know is out there, if they can make it widely available to a lot of people, that is fabulous. That will break the control of the oil companies, and the dominoes will fall. The banks, the whole system will collapse. If we have our own sources of energy, we can grow our own food, we can be truly independent, and there won't be anything that they'll be able to hold over our heads. Here's an interesting article that I found on Washington's blog. Occupy everything. Did we ever give it back? And this is about the Occupy movement and how we really do. We have been occupied. First of all, they make that very clear, that we have been occupied. Our country has been occupied by the banks, by the controllers. And this article is about hoping for a movement that can grow, that can flow out of Occupy and bring to the table what was learned there, and move into the next successful push for liberty and justice for all. And I will close today's tour with Washington's farewell address, "Beware of tools and dupes." And the first paragraph reads, "As he prepared to leave office, President George Washington was concerned about the increasingly partisan and militaristic path the young republic he helped found was heading down." So, he was right about the path. Look where it's landed us. But hey, from here on, we can make new paths for our feet. And I think it's the book of Hebrews that some verses about that, about make straight paths for your feet, so that that which has become injured won't be permanently lame, but will heal. And we will together, I believe, find those paths. The tour of the day is a presentation of She Who Will Walk in the Dark Productions, and we thank you for joining with us in today's tour. The dawn is coming. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Hoping that you will certainly be encouraged, that you will see your potential fulfilled and your dreams accomplished, that you will love one another, take care, and insist on liberty.